Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level game of StarCraft 2 with Gumiho here in the bottom right as our red Terran and Solar in the top left as our blue Zerg, playing for Team Onsite Gaming. Gumiho currently still teamless. Now, both of these players are kind of interesting. Solar because I feel like he's the most standard of the Koreans. I feel like him and DRG have always played the most, I don't want to call it proper StarCraft, but passive, reactive StarCraft. The way that a lot of European Zergs would play it, right? I always feel like Solar is really just a European, technically. DRG feels fairly similar. They still have some of these, you know, aggressive lash outs every now and again, like a roach rush in there, but so do the European Zergs. You know, they do sometimes mix it up, but their default is a lot more standard than most of the other Korean Zerg players. Now, Gumiho is a one-of-a-kind Terran. He's wild. He does what he wants, but as of late has been sprinkling in some more standard play. But generally, I would say in a standard game with standard play, I'd favor Solar. However, this isn't that standard because I spy with my little eye a CC first on the natural of Gumiho, often indicating something a bit odd. Now, that I spy with my little eye, well, not many people know is that my eye is actually freakishly large. It looks normal because it is in proportion with my nose, which is also freakishly large. Also, some people, like, they help each other out, my eyes and my nose. Like, oh, this guy is normal nose size and normal eye size. Like, no, they're both freakishly large. But because both of them are large, they don't look so weird. Like, it really sucks if you have a massive nose and tiny eyes, or massive eyes and a small nose. You know, and it's like, whoa, that's weird. This guy's a huge nose. Like, but I have both big, and then it's fine, in proportion. So proportionally fine. So I spy with my freakishly large eyes. A CC first, double gas into factory with a Reaper opener. Is this risky? Yeah. Would it die against a lot of things? Yeah. But Solar is a standard Zerg player, so he ain't doing any of those things. There is no Roach Rush here. There's absolutely nothing of the sort. There is no proxy hatch. Gumiho is going to spot just to make sure that there is indeed no proxy hatch there on the top side. This is also a location for a proxy hatch we sometimes see, by the way, so might want to have checked that too. Links are being sent out around the map, trying to get in a cheeky little scout. The Overlord also decides to go on its warpath. These guys are so slow. You see them coming from like a mile away. The Overlords always remind me of this question with the snail. Have you guys ever heard of the... It's not really a dilemma, is it the snail dilemma? I'll call it that. It's basically there is a snail always moving towards you at a, you know, a snail pace speed. If the snail touches you, you die. But you get like 5 million or something, or 10 million, or 15 million. Would you take this deal? Now, there is just an objectively correct answer, which is yes. Because if a snail is moving towards you at a snail pace, then, I mean, you could just shoot the snail, no? They never say that the snail is invulnerable. If they would, then it still would be free. Like, I mean, how long would it take a snail to cross the ocean? You know, let's say that the snail can walk on water for whatever reason. This guy has some, you know, mythical properties for whatever reason. How fast does a snail really go? There's no way he makes 1 kilometer an hour, right? So, I don't think he makes half a kilometer an hour. Nah. I don't think so. I think daily, does the snail need to sleep? Like, all of these parameters aren't even defined most of the time in this mediocre dilemma. But even if they were, and they said, okay, he never sleeps, always keeps going, like, this snail is maybe gonna go, let's be generous, 25 kilometers a day, okay? It moves at a constant speed, always towards you. You don't need to have eyes on it. You could just hire a guy consistently, though, to have eyes on it. Or you could hire someone else to put a tracker on it to make life easier. I would just hire a person to track it, really. Pay them like a decent amount. I mean, tracking the snail is not so difficult either. I feel like you just could fly to the other side of the world every couple of months and, you know, just live in 2 different places on opposite ends with your 10 million and you should be fine. Now, if it was just 1 million, I say that's too much of a hassle, right? It needs to be some decent money. You can buy two massive houses. Oh wait, sorry. There's a big Hellion run by here. This is going to go into mech, by the way. So, Banshee mech. This was really popular for a while, and all the Zergs were complaining, oh, it's broken, so strong, we don't have a counter to it, and how am I ever gonna beat it? And then it completely blew. Like, it just sucked. People just owned it all the time. And then Zergs were like, oh, maybe it's not so strong after all. This Banshee's gonna get a couple of kills. Clem was playing it a crap ton, I recall. And then he stopped playing it, like, man, Bio's so much better. Hellions are coming back in here. Solar's gonna lose a couple of workers. Poof. Poof. Well, a couple of workers. That's a handful of workers. 5. 5 workers go down. Hellions come back in. Try to deal more damage. Do not quite get it. Roach is on the way already. Spire as a follow-up. Solar is well aware of what's kicking off here. It's going to be Banshee Speed as well coming in, also known as the Hyperflight Rotors. More and more cars in production as the first Cyclones are now popping out. Double Armory, by the way, as a follow-up, which is interesting. In the past, when we've seen this style, sometimes it was just single Armory, sometimes 5 Factory before the Armory. Oh, he's gonna commit with this? That seems like a ballsy plan. He decided to give up on that plan as well. Now, there is flank potential here with those links. He's not gonna commit to it though, Solar that is. What's the Banshee count? It's at 2. 0 Banshees have gone down, so maybe it's not really mass Banshee. I mean, he's building them pretty darn slow, isn't he? He's building them pretty darn slow. It's going to be 3 Banshees for now. I wonder if you go for Mutas or for Corruptors here. What if you just build like 4 Corruptors? These Banshees useless. If you build 4 Mutas though, Banshees not quite as useless, but you can also force out eBay or turrets. There's already a blind turret in the main base. Come on, what's the Spire gonna do, buddy? It's Muta, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna be Mutalisk Roach. Uncommon composition as this barracks is floating into wherever it's going. Banshee's now moving around, looking for some kills perhaps on this fort base of Solar. See, how's this Reaper still alive? This guy has lived a very safe life. This guy did not have a snail chasing him, that's for sure. This guy had nothing chasing him. He's a privileged little prick, living in his gated community at home. Behind the depots he was safe. Didn't ever really go on a scouting mission. You're not getting any medals, buddy. Not like this. What does he have in his hands? Is that his gun? Are these guns like floating in his hands? Freaking Reapers, man. Completely useless. Here come the Banshees, which are not completely useless, and are going to be putting in some work against these drones. 7 go down. Brings the total of worker kills up to 13. So you have some cool... I freaking love Battle Mech. I really like Battle Mech. If there's one composition that I love to see, it's freaking Battle Mech, okay? I also like playing it. There's just something beautiful about it. And it's not that the games are more fun, but you can feel that the Zerg, you know, the Zerg gets angry during those games. And he can feel them starting to boil. Like, whenever there's like, people are afraid of losing heating in their house or something, they invite a Zerg player and they start playing Battle Mech against them. It heats up your room like a space heater would not be capable of doing it. Central heating still probably more effective. But Zerg, you just give them... They work on like popcorn, and... Because they're Zerg, they also usually just bring their own resources, right? They're freaking rich. They're not going to ask for money. It's like, oh, can I play at your house? Okay, yeah, sure. I'll bring my own food. Yeah. I have my own bed. I'm not going to sleep on some pleb bed that you have over there. Don't worry about it. Just play from your house and heat up the place. Great to have a couple of Zergs in winter in your house. Saves massively on the energy bill. Just gotta find a player that is willing to play Battle Mech against them the entire day. The problem with Battle Mech is that if you play it too much, you just start losing IQ and speed as well. If you believe you're... This is the beauty of Battle Mech, is that when you're playing it, it feels like you're doing it pretty fast. But in reality, you're really playing very, very slow. Like, it's technically... It's still mech, you know? It's more mech than it is bio. Just because you're active on the map doesn't mean that it's difficult to play. Like, it's not. It's not difficult to play. It's not a bad thing. It just doesn't require a lot of mechanics. You just need good decision making, okay? You need good unit control later on with your Ghost. If that's what you want to go for. Look how many freaking Cyclones there are. There's 14 Cyclones. That's double of 7. That's pretty crazy. Now there's 16 Cyclones. That is also actually pretty darn crazy. 2-2 is almost done already as well here for the Monsieur Gumiho. So he has 16 Cyclones. 1, 6, 5 more. I feel like at this point, tanks would not be a luxury, would they be? There's 3 reactors as well. Can pump Hellions like his life depends on it. It's not really doing it quite yet, though. It's not really doing it quite yet. This topside base is gonna get taken out. That was the 6th. Now it is nothing anymore. Will be cancelled. Good moves there, Solar. Love it. Love it. Love it. A little bit of a flank coming in here from the side, but Banshees will take care of that. The car count is maybe a bit too low even here. I think it's too little Hellions actually, because the Lynx are doing way too well against these Cyclones. Where's the rest of the army? Oh, this is here in the far back. Banshees move away from this fight, so does my camera for whatever reason. We're gonna get an okay trade here for Gumiho, I feel like. I think this was playable. Still more Cyclones. And there's no hive on the way yet, so technically it's possible. The creep spread isn't great either, so technically it's still possible, but... Oh, actually, hive is done. There's Greater Spire on the way. Yeah, I feel like you're gonna need a couple of tanks, and then you're gonna need Ghost, yeah. 4 barracks on the way. Going to 5 barracks Ghost production. We see +1 attack coming out. Often in the past I've seen actually armor upgrades first, because the main damage output of the Ghost is going to be with Snipe, which doesn't actually benefit from having better attack upgrades. So they rather make them a little bit more resilient. Banshees deal so much freaking damage, by the way, in these types of positions. People really underestimate that. These mutas are definitely helping out, because it doesn't allow these Banshees to shoot the entire time. If Banshees just stand still and shoot, their damage output is actually freaking mental. Like, this type of positioning is crazy, crazy, crazy. So much freaking damage output against Roaches, Lynx, Ravagers, Banelings. Literally everything that the Zerg builds on the ground is... These Banshees are going to have some nice damage output against them. High speed as well here coming in. These Ravagers maybe in some trouble. These mutas are so important actually because of that. If it wasn't for these mutas, these Banshees would be on freaking crack right now. I love that it's just 10 mutas. You don't know, mass muta shenanigans, just a couple of mutas just to make sure that the Banshees stay in check. It's kind of being used as corruptors here. Oh, pre-split on the Hellbats, is that going to be good enough? Yeah, I think so actually. Once again, an efficient trade coming out of Gumiho. It's a lot of Roaches here that are dying at the tail end of this engagement. The first tanks are now being produced. We have Cloak for the Ghost on the way. There's 5 barracks, now 4 barracks ready with Tech Labs. There's 1 barracks in the air. This guy also doesn't give a crap about what's happening. Sometimes drop some, what is that? Is that dust? Oh, nice. Sparks. Little fireworks party inside of that barracks the entire time. Just need to see it. Cyclones are ready for some type of roach flank. Wouldn't mind seeing a couple of Hellbats in that flank as well. +3 is about to finish up. That means that Lynx are going to be completely useless right now. There's still 30 on the map. That is death supply. Hellbats with +3 and Blue Flame Hellion one-shot Lynx. And thus Lynx are, yeah, they're practically just going to be useless. Nice catch here by Solar though. Grabs a couple of those Banshees, but at the same time is going to lose probably 5 mutas. Kills 2 Banshees, loses 5 mutas. Banshees now have a little bit more freedom. Here comes a flank. That's not a very good flank. As there were, oh my god, 18 kills, 8 kills and 3 kills respectively on those Banshees. As continues killing some of these Changelings, and we'll go for a bunch of Tumors here as well. I mean, mutas just can't attack this. There are Broodlords out right now. There's no proper anti-air unless you count Cyclones, which, let's face it, I don't really count them. But if they do latch onto a Broodlord, they're actually quite strong, but they should never be capable of getting there. Now, Ghosts are out, Thors are in production. We're going to go up to 6 Ghosts, we're going to go up to a single Thor. That's not a whole lot of Thors, but it's still a single Thor. Rather have 1 Thor than 0 Thors. Moving up creep is going to be pretty much impossible, so there's no anti-air against these Banshees. That means eventually our good friend is going to run out of crap on the ground, I guess. Well, it's only a single, 2 Banshees. Yeah, it's maybe enough. Broodlord count has diminished a little bit already, I believe. Yeah, 1 has gone down. There's 2 that are fairly low as well. Banshee is still going ham here. Kind of just zoning away this army so that the tanks don't have to do it. Don't really want to siege up tanks against brutes usually. Here come the snipes. 1, 2 brutes will fall. That means there's only 3 remaining. DPS of those is going to be quite low. Hellbats in the far back. Will not quite get connected to. This army is trying to retreat right now. And Gumiho will allow for it. I mean, he has plenty of bases. He has plenty of money. He has a big enough bank. No need for him to take a bad fight. So far, his fights have been good. 21,000 to 13,000. It's not quite double, but it's close. And usually the first phase of the game is where Terran struggles the most to get good engagements. So they have been getting these really good engagements. Can he continue this into the late game? And if the answer to that is yes, Solar's going to be in trouble, because Gumiho is already taking his entire side of the map. Only thing he's lacking is this bottom side base right now, which honestly, it's not going to be easy to take and to keep, but I also don't see Solar taking it. I also don't see Solar taking this base. So we're working with a pure split map scenario at this point, in the best case for Solar. I really think that's the best case. Ooh, this army is vulnerable. There's not enough Hellbats with it. Forward scan. This army this could be big. This could be a mistake. This is a mistake. That's a lot of Cyclones that die here. I understand that the Gumiho needed to get rid of those in order to produce units that actually fight better against these late game armies, but this might be detrimental for his position in the now. It's better for his position in the near future, but right now also matters. There's no Hellbats with this army at all. Where are the Hellbats? Well, not with the Thors. That means that the Lings are fairly effective. Ghosts are trying to help out. They're dealing quite some damage. Good splits, actually. Was this a good fight? It was about even, which is probably good for Solar. At the same time, oh, this is where the Hellbats were. Actually dishing out a lot of damage. Lings just streaming in and dying at an extremely high pace, as these drones will also fall. Look at this one-shotting. It's crazy, that behavior. It's actually crazy behavior. Gumiho did lose a lot of units there, and a lot of that were lower tier units. He also lost quite some workers. The orbital count is at, where are we? 8. 8 is enough, I think, to be at 67. If he was at 6 or 5, I'd say, well, maybe you want to go up to 74, 75 workers. But here, no, I think this is okay. Gonna have enough minerals and enough gas income as well with your SCVs. Banshees do finally fall. Total Banshee count killed is 6. Would love to see a couple of tanks here. I mean, he needs to. Still so many roaches in this army, which should be useless. Yeah, they suck against Ghost as well, right? Like, look at these snipes. Puff, 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 puff. Bang, bang. Complete destruction. Tanks are not going to get double hit by those biles. And one actually will stay alive due to some misclicking there out of Solar. And these guys are just going ham against the roaches. Baneling's now trying to connect with these Ghosts. There's no tanks here still. This is such a sick tank position that they always use. It's not being utilized right now, though. It's not being utilized. One more Ghost will fall. Infantry armor level 2 finishes up. It means that these Ghosts are going to be 2-2 with +3 attack already on the way. Mews are raining down on the planetary up top. Solar doesn't even have this bottom side base yet. It's gonna try and take it now. Does he have any Vipers? No, neither. He's gonna stick with this fairly primitive army, but sometimes primitive tools are the best. Wonder if that's going to be the case here as well. I'm afraid that the answer will be no. Okay, here we go. Blinding Clouds, important. Oh, here we go. Snipe, snipe, snipe. EMP. No. Blinding Cloud doesn't connect with the tanks yet. Yeah. Not the greatest Blinding Cloud. Not the greatest fight for Solar, to be quite honest. Does reset the tank count. This wasn't it. If he can retreat with all these Roaches and the Ravagers, that is something. But it's going to lose a lot of creep. Gumiho hardly lost anything. The main things he lost there were like maybe what, a couple of Thors, 2-3 Thors, 2-3 tanks, and then the rest was Hellbat. That's it. Now, this does carry some risk. The push that he's going for right now is not scanning for creep either. I did scan in this area, I guess, but not this area. It scares me a little. Snipes going down, Banelings being taken out. I think Gumiho probably wants to piss off at this point. We'll take out that topside base. Spiles are going to connect with the tanks. Hellbats will trade as well as Thor gets picked up. These Ghosts do need to run back to the planetary. They're gonna be hit by a lot of those Banelings. There's not enough Baneling burst damage anymore to take out the planetary. This felt scary for Gumiho, but at the end of the day, if we look at the actual situation, I think it's pretty fine. The only thing that Gumiho is lacking right now is gas income. Does have some gases here, as gas is not fully saturated on this base. Now starts mining from here. Still can take this gas. So it doesn't have this bottom base that he's mining from with the gases either. I feel like there's really some potential to get more gas here, which is the only resource that he's truly lacking. I mean, with freaking 9 orbitals, that's usually going to be the case. 11 infestors coming in with Neural Parasite, +3 air weapons as well. Hellbats are going to morph in, but Baneling should be capable of taking care of that. Oh, tries to move away. Still wants to get a couple of Lings roasted. That's an okay job. Like, these trades are going to be fairly close. It might be like 100, 150 off or so. In one person's favor or the other, but it's not that relevant. It's going to be the big fights that truly matter. So far, Gumiho has been winning the big fight. So far, Gumiho has been winning the mining game as well, in my mind. Not necessarily because he's mining more than his opponent, but because Solar isn't outmining him that hard. This base is important. This base is not allowed to go up. Okay, this is super important, actually. Oh. Would have loved to see that hatchery start and then kill it. It's boom. 225 minerals, you're not going to get back then. And the drone as well. I mean, now the drone also died, so I guess that's not really an argument. Ship weapons level 3 finishing up, and that means that all upgrades that are relevant, except for +3 armor, have finished at this point. Budo is on the way. It's probably for the infestors. Helbets are gonna get blasted. Gas for minerals, though. Not necessarily a very good call. Stop side is secure. At least feels somewhat secure. Here comes Solar. Just one Helbet is enough to deal with Lynx here, by the way. It's pretty crazy, no? Ghost moving in position as well. Look how many Helbets this is. That's freaking scary. This base is gonna get taken out here. Snipes on drones. That's something you don't see every day. Feels like a waste of energy, but if Gumiho thinks it's good, I believe it's good as well. I trust in the Gumi god. Plenty of turrets around, which means that these infestors should not be capable of really achieving much. The main problem for Gumiho is the fact that his army is largely out of position. Okay, here come the Neurals. Here come the Neurals. Turrets are available. Can we get 1 or 2 Neurals? That would be huge already. Just kind of breaking that that defensive setup. Just getting everything you can. You know, just 1 or 2 tanks. Okay, well, this is a pretty okay break. Fighting-wise, maybe no. Oh, no cancel on the CC. That's nice. Topside base is being taken here. Still 9 command centers, or 9 orbital commands. 2 more command centers are on the way. This is going to turn into a planetary, isn't it? It's really going to strengthen that position. People underestimate that. Like, just having a planetary there, that really gets the attention of the Zerg. If you have 2-3 tanks behind that, a couple of turrets, it's hard to break. It really is. So much HP. So much HP. There's no Helbets here, though. That means that Lynx are going to be efficient, effective, whatever you want to call it. And this was a very solid cleanup out of Solar, who still has a supply lead for now. Has a bank lead as well, a bigger bank. Gumiho hasn't been capable of mining this base completely dry. Still about 1.6, 1.7k minerals. Bottom side base, I think Solar might want to work on that. It's also going to start working on the top side base. Hasn't mined a single gas yet. Not a single unit of gas. Okay, fungal hits. EMP connects as well. I think the EMP is more important. These Helbets are still around in big numbers. Good start of a fight. 64 more Lynx on the way. The Ghosts are moving forward. Gumiho has tried a fight like this before, where he has a minor or a major win, pushes across the map. I hope that this time it's just going to be creep denial. I don't think pushing across the map here would actually be a good call. I feel like it might make his position worse, because there's so many infestors, and if you don't have constant vision on those, a couple of Neurals can really change the outcome of a fight like that. Are you gonna snipe this or no? I wonder if that's the case. No real snipes here. I think these infestors should try and sneak by through the top side here. I do believe that's what Solar is planning on as well. Can come from behind, and then if you take these 2 tanks, this attack is, or this position is so much worse. It's a decent amount of supply in other use. I don't quite understand why Gumiho is here. But maybe he says, hey, if I'm being aggressive, Solar can be aggressive, and then I can keep my bases. That might just be important enough. That might actually just be important enough. Topside base is being taken here by both players, or wanting to be taken by both players. Solar gets there first, does build the hatchery. Baneling count is fairly large. Where's these infestors at? Where's the infestors? Still on the far back. There's no turrets here. I think a couple turrets would definitely help out. As if he's gonna help out, start fighting this hatchery. As these ghosts go to the top side. He's completely abandons this position. Is he building a planetary? Okay, this is insane, huh? It's a backup planetary or something. That's actually mental. Like, that's legitimately mental. Tries to snipe these overlords. They can't poop on that location anymore. As a result, we'll lose this bottom side. Makes himself fairly vulnerable. Tanking far back, gets a couple of kills as well. Ghost, ghost, ghost. What are we doing here? I feel like Solar has maybe one good fight left in him. There is a nuke in the unit tab currently. Could be used. Once again, no Hellbat in this position means that tanks will fall against the links. Hellbats could fix this issue. Just a single Hellbat, but it's of course difficult to manage. Having a Hellbat in every position that is vulnerable, it's going to cost you some supply as well. Depot wall will get taken out. Don't think that should supply block him. He has so many freaking orbitals, so many command centers. He could just supply drop for days as well, so it's not the end of the world. Ghost are going to get caught out of position though. That's all Ghost. That is all Ghost. Except for 2 that are going to be going down here. Lynx will continue their chase. Solar's been patiently waiting for this moment for a long time. Gets every single Ghost for free, but is it enough? I don't know. He's transitioning right now into Brood Lords. What is there for Brutes? There's 3 Thors, that's it. There's so many Hellbats though, holy crap. 23 Hellbats. That is a lot of Hellbats. 6 Hellions being produced at a time as well. Bottom side hatch gets taken out, Solar. I feel like despite that brilliant fight just now, taking out those Ghosts, I still don't really like his position. I mean, good luck fighting into this, you know? 7 Broodies are being morphed. Ghost moving forward. One Ravager gets blasted there. Supplies, surprisingly even. The bank is non-existent right now for Solar, and that probably means maybe he doesn't straight up win with these 6-7 Broodlords, then he will lose the game. There's 2 out already. There's 5 more morphing. There's Ghost here. There's Thors. They're shooting. These snipes are going to connect as well. There's only 4 freaking Brutes remaining right now, and that's basically all that Solar has. Gumiho, after an insanely long game, I think finally manages to break the spine of his opponent. There's no coming back from that. You're gonna be injured for quite a while if you break your spine. Oop. Nice little Thor drop on top of the Brood Lord. GG gets called as Gumiho wins this 27-minute game. Starting with Battle Mech and ending with kind of the Ghost Thor mech. It's one of my favorite compositions in general. And that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this game, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and adios.